Hi, this is Deborah Peters, and welcome back to my podcast, Neuroscience for Success, and this new series, The Journey of the Mastery of Your Mind, with my wonderful co-host, Richard Daniel Curtis.
Hello!
So it's a day, well, it's actually Easter Monday, depending on where you live on the planet. I was going to say it's the day after Easter, but it's really Easter Monday. And so today's show is going to be on appreciation. And something that I tweeted out over the weekend, Richard, was, there's a lot of happy Easter messages going around. And look, whatever religious belief you are, I want to say this to that. And that is, rise up in your own life. Just rise up and breathe life into your dreams. And the most powerful way to do that is through appreciation, right?
Absolutely. I mean, ignore the Christian element of Easter. Easter is all about celebrating new beginnings, is about celebrating new life. We can all do that. We can all take the time to appreciate, whether you run a business, whether you're actually, you're a CEO of a huge company, whether actually you're someone that's just managing or leading a team, or you're just someone who works with someone. Just take the time to appreciate and to invigorate yourself and your plans. This is a perfect opportunity. And one of the best things, sorry, a little bit of a tangent, but people talk lots about spring cleaning. This was the time when historically people used to take out the mattress into the sun. They used to clear out all the home, all the rest of it. Use the sun's natural rays to disinfect. The mattress and the furniture and things like that. But that's so good for your mental state. Spending time actually decluttering, spending time tidying, spending time taking stock of where you are is so fantastic for your mind, because it just gives you that chance to reorder, to rethink, to just refocus on what your priorities are for the next few months.
The next new you. I think there's no coincidence that it's end of year in UK. It's tax time in the US. It's a time to kind of put closure on the year prior and to step into this new year. And I've been doing a lot around that, actually. I grew up on a farm, as I've always talked about. And the thing I loved about growing up on the farm was all the new baby animals. Our horse would foal, our cows would calf. Some of our neighbors had sheep, so there'd be little lambs running around the fields, and it's the ducks, and it's just the flowers. Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful time of the year if you live in this hemisphere. And with that comes just this immense appreciation for all that is. And you said something really powerful that I want to focus on. And you said, appreciate your goals, appreciate your business. So if we just take this and break this down for our viewers, and we talk about this for a second, most people, I've been training for 20 years in front of groups and audiences and conferences and conventions, and you have too. And don't you find that most people, when they set a goal, it becomes this thing, that they're excited but nervous about. And I want to give you a tool to shift that. Appreciate that, appreciate that you even have the idea to create the goal, and then appreciate the idea of the goal and appreciate the manifestation of the goal, because that's the little magic secret sauce that moves it from an idea into a tangible format in your life.
It's so true. And I always talk about recognizing when you're moving towards your goals, because ultimately, put it very bluntly, there are going to be times that you don't achieve your goals. We sometimes, as humans, we set ourselves these wonderful targets, these wonderful goals, these aims that we don't actually reach. But that doesn't matter. Because provided you have been working towards that goal, and it's recognizing that you're working towards that goal that's the important thing, then you have achieved. I always say, I mean, the phrase that I use, in my business is, I want my worst day to be better than my competitor's best day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point in that you recognize that you're moving towards your goal. And you're right. Sometimes we just don't reach our goals. Who are we kidding, right? We're not going to pretend that it's always 100%. But success leaves clues, and the journey toward our goals, if we are willing to reflect and to look at what we're really experiencing, those journeys teach us sometimes more than what the goal would give us. And that's the powerful process. That's the powerful idea of being in a process, being on a journey rather than, going from here to like, boom, okay, I'm there, right? It's like the journey in between is always the best part. We can meet our new lover, and then we can marry our new lover, and all the space in between is the cool stuff, and then there's another set of cool stuff. So being in that present time and being appreciative of what you're experiencing brings more. It brings more awesome experiences and deeper self-awareness. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, it's so true. And I also, as you're talking there, I was just reflecting on how actually our goals change. So as we move towards one goal, I mean, maybe let's take dating. Your goal is meeting the man of your dreams, or your goal is to meet the woman of your dreams. Actually, by the time you get there, then your goals might have shifted. Your goals might have then become to be in a relationship with the man of your dreams. By the time you've got there, your goals might have shifted again, and your goals then might be to be married to the man of your dreams. And that's what happens. Our goals, actually, we extend our goals, and actually they change and adapt over time. But again, it comes back to what I was saying before. You need to be recognizing whether you're moving towards them. And if you're not moving towards those goals, then you need to take action now. I know I keep coming back to this point over several podcasts, but you need to take action now to do something that will help you to move just one step closer to that goal.
You know what happened for me in wanting to meet or know or date the man of my dreams? Is I realized that I am the person of my dreams. And therefore, it takes all the pressure off of another human being to be that, to be all that. So I'm being that for me. And I think that's really the learning in the journey toward a goal, is you learn about you and you realize that the goal is just kind of like a carrot. It's just kind of that thing out there that draws you toward it. It's that next shiny object that draws you toward it, but it's really not it. It's who you're becoming. Who I am, whom I've become, and whom I am becoming is really what it's all about. This morning I was doing some journaling and did my meditation, prepping for my day. It was like super early. Sun wasn't even quite up yet. And I was looking through a book that lays out how to identify where you're at on the emotional scale, because it's our emotions that actually determine our happiness, and it's our emotions that actually move us toward or away from our goal, depending on what's going on within us. And so, and the name of that book for our viewers is Ask and It Is Given by Jerry Nestor Hicks. And it shows a scale where, you start out, like I think number 22, which is the lowest end of the scale, is like depression, fear, doubt, like all of that negative stuff, right? And then as you raise yourself up the emotional scale and you become more and more self-aware and you become more and more tuned into your emotional state and therefore choosing to be happy, choosing how you feel, not tolerating being sad or being lonely, like not tolerating yourself in those lower vibrational emotions and raising yourself up into higher vibrational emotions. And I was able to kind of look back on my whole life, and I did start out in depression, I did start out in fear, and I did start out in doubt. And now I'm like, I'm up in belief and appreciation and happiness. And that's been the journey, you know. I thought it was about owning stuff and buying things, but it was really about that. It was about appreciating whom I'm becoming. I think that's where appreciation is best used.
Appreciate who you're becoming, appreciate what you've got, appreciate who you've got in your life. That's the other
Yes.
thing. I hear people talk about, and I hear this in business so often. I hear people talk about, if only I had the right team. But actually, we've manifested that team. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a CEO, actually, you're the one that's manifested that team directly or indirectly. If you've got a large team, then you've hired the HR manager who's then hired them. And actually, just appreciate what you've got and work from there outwards.
And isn't every person in your life a reflection of some aspect of you? I'm with you. It's I used to do couples coaching, and I'd get these people, this couple that would come through the door, and all they could talk about what was wrong with the other person. And so the question that I would always ask is this how you really want to focus on this person? Because that's what you're doing with yourself. And it's the same in a company. I'm working with a company right now that the team has been kind of this revolving door. And, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, Mr. CEO, this has to stop because this is something that's within you. And then, maybe you're not choosing the right people, maybe you are, but let's take a look at that so you can appreciate what they do bring to the table instead of always finding the faults in what they're not performing at. And that's a game changer in any company.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true. It's just, it's a bit like the thing I always compare it to is when you make a decision out of stress or fear compared to when you make a decision out of thinking forward. Because when you're let's say you're very short of cash or you've got cash flow problems or something like that, in your personal life and your business life, then actually that then determines your actions, and the actions you make are very short term, are very short term decisions. Whereas actually, when you're in position, this is why I love gratitude so much as well, because when you're in a position where actually you recognize the abundance you've got in life, you appreciate what you've got. Um, then actually what you'll find is you're in a lot more stable position, even if you're experiencing those cash flow issues, all small businesses do. But you find yourself in a lot more of a grounded position to make more informed and longer term decisions.
Yeah, bigger picture. I think that's why it's so important to be careful of the language that you use in describing your situation. And I was having a conversation on Thursday. I was having a luncheon with some major stakeholders here in Los Angeles that are really moving toward contributing to a shift in the thinking around the homeless issues that we have. And someone spoke up and said, yeah, we're survivors. And I said, see, this is the narrative that has to change. We have to change the narrative from being a survivor to being a thriver. And the only way you're going to do that is through gratitude and appreciation. Because you're right. If you're having, say, for example, cash flow problems, you're just looking at your next two steps, and then the next two steps, and the next two steps. And there's never really enough space in your mind to step back and look at the bigger picture so you can navigate more effectively. And the best way to make that shift is to go into gratitude around what you do have. Be appreciative of what you have created so that you can get into a place of thriving, because thriving is a feeling. So is surviving. Surviving means we just barely got our head above water, in my mind. Whereas thriving is, yeah, we're above water, and look at all the tools we learned from being underwater that we can take into our experience, and we can actually, blossom this thing. And so that's the key. You got to be careful with the language patterns you use, because we get what we focus on most of the time.
Classic example. I know that we've spoken about this upscaling that I've done in my business over the last year. Now, I had a target of so my first target was number of partners that we were working with that were delivering our mentoring qualifications in businesses and workplaces. Now, our initial target was only 20. Our long-term target is in the first 2 years is 200, but our first milestone was 20. Now, I was sat there. Oh gosh, I'm going to go back. A few months ago, I can't remember what it was, but I was sat there thinking, "Oh, when are we going to hit 20? When are we going to hit 20?" And then I said, "No, stop. Actually, you've nearly got 50% of your target." At the time, we nearly had to go. 10 partner organizations signed up, and rather than stopping, rather than focusing on when am I going to hit 20, when am I going to hit 20, I'm like, well, actually, this is the right thing to do. This was a huge mind shift for me. I know this is the right thing to do because actually I've already got nearly half of my signups that I need.
Yes. On that note, I was, and I think we're probably at time here. When I was doing my writing this morning, one of the things that actually kind of came to me when I was first waking up, which I'd sort of like barreled out of bed and pulled out my journal. There's 2 or 3 things, for example, currently in my life that aren't quite there. Like they're there, but they're sort of on the peripheral. You know that feeling when something, like, you can feel it, it's close, you pretty much got it, but it's not really like sitting in the palm of your hand yet. You know that feeling?
Yeah.
And so this morning I was thinking to myself, like, the only reason, I have to be really honest with myself, the only reason those 3 things are not literally sitting in the palm of my hand is because I haven't fully committed yet in here. And that's what always drives home a goal. So, we need to probably do a couple of podcasts on goals and bringing them to fruition and what happens in the background that causes them not to happen, like all of that stuff. But I think for this point, we're out of time. So it's been an absolute pleasure. And what's your one?
So my one today is about having gratitude for parents, helping their children learn gratitude. I've written books for teachers on helping their students appreciate what they've got now. My one very much is use gratitude to appreciate what you've got at this particular moment.
Okay, awesome. I love that. That's brilliant, especially as kids, because then they take it into adulthood and they can maintain that magic. Kids are magical manifestors. It's only as adults that we forget that we're magical manifestors in bigger bodies, right? Exactly. So, so my one is the thing that you are seeking is seeking you. And it has to seek you energetically because you're the physical being, you're the physical vehicle for which it comes through. So with that said, go into gratitude and appreciation in your mind about your goals before they happen. Before they happen. It's awesome to go into appreciation and gratitude about something after it's manifested. But if you really do want things to manifest in your life, then you must go into gratitude and appreciation about them when they're in the unseen. When they're in the unseen, before they turn into physical form. That's the secret sauce that makes it pop.
Definitely.
There you go. Yeah. So thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing and blowing up my Twitter. I appreciate that. It's been happening a lot the last little while. Every time I post our vlog, Richard, it just is like, it's blowing up. And catch us on LinkedIn and Facebook. And yeah, bless you all. New beginnings, new year, new season, new life, new opportunities, new thoughts. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.